Aloha! So, back for round 5. Um, when we last left off, we had just finished our first feature. So, as a user, I want to see a list of standards for one mod. Oh, and there's a couple things I wanted to add to the definition of done. So, error handling was one of them. README was another one. Cool. So we had done these things, and now we have a, let's see, deployed site. Let's see, is it, to break something? Might have broken something. Network error when attempting to fetch resource. 404ing. All right, let's see what I broke. No module with that ID. I'm trying to get one though. All right, let's see if it's working locally. Broken locally too. It's actually a good sign. Cool. So let's start by fixing this, and then we'll pull in a new feature. So it was working very recently, so that means that we can't have done that much to break it. Oh, I know what it was. Because I just I ran the seeds again, and we're hard coding all of those IDs right now. So if we go over to Postman, we'll get no module with that ID on that one, but I'll bet with 3, there it is. So what we'll do is we'll hop over to app.view, and we're going to fix this in a sec, but right now we'll just hard code that to 3 as well. And over in standard, I think we had it also. Nope. Module. There we go. So if I update those, cool. So it works locally. And since we did all the good work of setting up deployment and stuff last time, I can do stuff like updating fixed module ID, hop over to the front end, npm run deploy. So that's going to build and deploy. And then if I do the same thing over on the back end, npm run deploy server, then that deploys the back end also. So now, when I hop over here, wait for it, there we go. There's our deployed app. I updated some of the copy for this, but I'm going to get one of the coaches, I think, to work more on copy for this tomorrow. So all of those work. Those are the actual stuff that we're going to use. All is good in the world. Cool. So let's take a look at what the next standard is. Clean up a little bit. So the next thing that we want to do is pull in from the backlog. As a user, I want to see a list of standards for all mods. So some things that would help us know whether or not this is done is I should see a list of modules. Clicking on a module should navigate to it And everything else is kind of covered in the first one. So let's write some tests for that. If I go over to front-end tests, modules, I'm going to comment out this for right now. Let's do it this way. Okay, so that's listing standards. Now I'm going to make one for like listing modules. And so we'll say visit the site, and we should say it lists modules in the navigation. And we need to figure out how to do that. And it navigates to a module. Module standards when one is clicked. Cool. So let's figure out how we would define that. Listing modules in the navigation. So I should probably get modules LIs, and they should have length greater than 0. And I'll know that this one works when I'm going to start it the same way as this one. That if we go to the base site, we see mod 1, and then I want to make it so that when we maybe sci.get modules li, we click on the next one, then that same thing should say mod 2. Both of those things happen. I would feel fairly comfortable saying that I can see a list of modules and clicking on one navigates to it. So let's make sure that those are failing right now. Should have 2 passing and 2 failing. Two passing, 1 failing, 2 failing. Cool. In good shape so far. So let's take a look at why this isn't working already. So first we need a list of modules. I'm trying to think of how we might do this. So my hunch, we have some hierarchy that we need to kind of establish and maintain here. One is that in this, come on, buddy. Oh, I gotta plug in my, there we go. Any day now. There we go. In this kind of area up here, we might use some navigation. Maybe over on this side, maybe kind of like up here. I still like this idea of having that thing there though. So what I want to do now is just sort of sketch some ideas for what this could look like. So right now, I've got something like that. I have these things over here. And then we have some shit there. Okay, so we need to figure out where these links could go. One place would be up here. And I think that kind of works from a hierarchy standpoint because just being higher up on the page helps establish hierarchy over this. But since they directly relate to each other, now that I'm saying this out loud, I sort of feel like those should go there. So if I undo those and if I do something like that, that probably makes it more clear, like, what owns what. And then all of my navigation is also in one place also, which is beneficial. All right, I'm gonna roll with that. So I'm gonna head over to the app header. And in this nav, I could probably just do a really similar structure to what I did over here, except call these modules, and then do a similar kind of like V4 thing. And router link to module and pass in module ID, module label for module in modules. The key will be the module ID. I don't want the whole label on there though. I want it to just kind of be that number. So I'm going to say sort order doesn't exist right now, but it should. And so we'll say, like, I want their sort order to show up there. Cool. Yeah. All right, and then I need to say that I'm expecting a list of modules also. Those are coming in from app.view. So when this gets mounted, it tries to fetch module 3 and then displays any errors. So I think what I want to change this to is if we go back over to the store, I want to make an action called fetch modules that doesn't take an ID. And just gets every module that I have. And I might, so I'll make a set modules action. Well, I don't need to do the same gymnastics that I did with setting an individual module. I think I can just say that I want to spread the new modules. Yeah, that looks good. So I have this get module by ID getter. I think I'm just going to get the state directly. All right. Then over here, instead of saying I want to fetch module 3, I can call a fetch modules action. And instead of, oh, this is kind of interesting. This will be kind of our first challenge. Is right now the standards that get passed into the app header are entirely, that's hard coded to a particular module. And that's one of the things that we're going to need to change. So this needs to update with route. So I'm also going to need to change my router. So I think kind of what I need here is another route called modules that's maybe a parent of both of these. Interesting. So let me go back to the sketch. This is like an easy to forget thing about SPAs and routing, is that whether or not something is a child route is entirely dependent on how it looks, not what their relationships are. So I'm trying to figure this out for this one. I go, okay, the app, come on, buddy. So the app is, let me use green for this one. The app is really everything outside the green. And then within the green, that app header. Yeah, let's try messing with that a little bit. So the way that we do a child route in view, nested routes. Children, so you have an array called children. So what if say that one's that, this is this. Hey, what's up, Ahmed?
How's the life going?
I think it's going all right.
You got runners in here now?
Goddamn right. All right, so if I have a modules route of which module and standard are children, let's take a look at this. All right, so I think what we want to do is have a component here. What is this outer one going to be called? It's the end of the day, so Old Man Coberly's brain's working a little slow.
Old Man Coberly need a beer?
Old Man Coberly would love a beer. Thank you very much. This one's almost done.
Oh yeah, I'll be right back.
Appreciate you, baby.
Oh, of course.
All right, so if I've got an app on the outside and the thing inside it is modules, and then that has two children, module and standard. So module or standard end up rendering in there. Module's just the index for modules. And then the rest of modules has this like app header. And actually, this needs a different index than and that would be that like the index for that's going to be something like please pick a module from the left, something like that. Oh, thank you. Okay, I think this is the solution. So one of these children gets a specific module ID, and then that gets passed into there. This one gets a specific standard ID. That gets put into there. And these, I don't think these actually have the prefix on them anymore. That one also needs a module ID and a standard ID. All right, I think it's something kind of like that. And then probably also want the index for that, which I'm also, let's see, right now, I don't like this. I'm gonna call it choose a module, and it needs to render that, and it's the index. And then this one needs something called modules. Okay, so I should have a gaggle of errors at this point, which can help me kind of work this down. Cool, modules is not defined. First one. So I'm gonna touch source. Nope, that's a view. View modules.view. Views. There we go. All right. Then next error, choose a module is not defined. I'm going to make that a, if I'm routing to it, I guess that's technically a view also. Views, choose a module. I hope by the time I'm done with this, that view doesn't exist anymore. I don't like this. Choose a module, choose a module. Cool. What now? Beautiful. Template or render function was not defined in modules. So let's go over to modules. We'll say it needs a template. It needs a script. And it needs a style. Okay, cool. I can say I'm a list of modules. Route name modules has a default child route. Okay, so this is my next error. Named route modules has a default child route. So does not want me to navigate to it by remove the name from this route. Oh, I see what's happening. So when you, oh, badass. This gets rid of me having to like name this fucking thing. So I get rid of that because it's the default route. This is called modules, and if none of these other things get routed to, it ends up going to that. All right, so that should make that warning go away. Named route modules, that's this one, has a default child route. When navigating to this named route, default child route will not be rendered. Well, it's not doing that anymore. Maybe it's because I route to it in here. Nope, that's good. App header. Module, that's good. Remove the name from this route. Oh, it wanted me to do the opposite. I see. So instead of that, it wants me to do it like, oops, not that. It wants me to say like that, I think. Cool, error goes away. I don't know if I like that, but all right, that's how they do it. All right, so now I'm getting on app 29. Perfect. So my next error is because the route that I'm requesting doesn't exist. So if I hop over to app.js, where I had this cool get module thing. So I need a route for that, for one. One that's just like that. And all of this is pretty good. I'm going to make a get modules ID. Does not take an ID. And I'm going to get all of the mods. And I'm still going to get, this time I'm going to get all of the standards. And now I need to do a little bit of programming gymnastics. Should probably write a test for this too. Never retrieve a list of modules. Retrieve a single module. A list of modules. So this one, I want to hit that route, get a 200 back. I want it to say modules. And let's see, with the expect syntax and have length. And have length greater than 0. Okay, got a 400 bad request. Bang ring. 0 passing. Well, Andy, those are different tests. Why won't it? Oh, because I see, because it's not even doing all of them. There we go. Because I'm bailing. That's what that dash B does. It's like Ruby's fail fast. Still failing though. Why? Why are you failing? And what about if I do that? So we got a bad request back. Get module. Oh, I know why. Oh, this is stupid. This is gonna drive me fucking crazy. Cool, now it works. We're gonna have to get around these IDs at some point. Okay, so next problem is 404s. That's good. It should no longer 404. Well, now it doesn't do anything. If I do that, get modules, and then respond with modules are, actually, I don't have that stupid name conflict with the node one anymore. Okay, get modules, then take those modules. Good. All right, awesome. Invalid chai property have length. Has length? Chai have length. Length of. That's how it works. To have. And length of. Length of. There we go. Although it's already passed. Oh, no, it should pass. That's right. But it's not right. And so it should have property modules and nested. So it has that. And if I get body.modules 0, it should have a property called label. Description and standards. Cool, perfect. Now I got some failing shit. So what I need to do, it has the other ones, but it doesn't have standards. And the reason why is we don't want to do that. We want to map through each of the mods. And for each mod, we want to give it all of the standards. Mod.standards are all of the standards that match this mod. Filter standard.module ID equals mod.id. And then return mod. Cool, what did that do? All right, we got passing tests. That's a good sign. And if we want to sanity check ourselves, go over to Postman. And if I look at all the modules, sweet, that's like exactly the kind of thing we're looking for. So if we go back over to this, hey, shit! Got something showing up on the page. Interesting thing though, that is absolutely not a list of modules. And part of that is we had app owning the app header before. That needs to be owned by modules now. So let's clean this up. So right now app header lives here, and where we really want it to live is in here somewhere. So I'm going to take app header, put it in here. I'm going to wrap all of this. Every time I use a div, like an angel fucking gets assaulted in an alley. Jesus. So I'll say that that's called module. And this is export default. And I need to import it now. And this is actually going to be an interesting thing for our styles too, because we're going to need to change the where the flex lives. All right. Standards is referenced. All right, so app header still needs standards, but its standards are going to be, I'm going to pull those over into this. We still want the app to fetch modules when it loads, and for the app to handle any errors, but I don't think that's necessarily where main should live anymore. This will be interesting. App header was not registered correctly. Yeah, it was. There we go. Cool. So now I'm getting a routing problem, which is fine. Because now I don't have a, so that choose a module one. Oh, this doesn't have anything in it. That probably doesn't help. Style lang SCSS. And in here, choose a module. All right, missing param. All right, so when I hit the app, the router should render my default view, which is this and that. I don't know why it's trying to render standard. Let me take a look at the view inspector. App, modules, app header. Oh, that's good. Oh, it's because of the router links and app header. That's why. All right, we're fine. So that's not happening there. This fetches modules. App header also needs a list of modules now. And it actually only needs those. So we'll change that to store.state.modules or empty array. Perfect. That's good. Well, it's a place to start. Okay, no errors. Now in app header, this is expecting standards and modules. We need something that's like current standards or something like that. But we're also going to need that second layer of navigation. Do I have that one already? Yeah, here it is. And let's see if these are showing up. Should get a couple of those. Perfect. Awesome. Those are working. So if we make those module.id, we should get perfect. We get that ID list, linked up in the corner. And let's see. So this thing needs to know all of the modules, and it needs to know the current standards. Okay. So it does still need both of those. That means that this becomes standards, and standards. And I feel like I have a function for this already. Get standard by ID. Oh, that should have never been what that was called. Let's see what it breaks when I do that. Get standards by ID. Getters. Get standards. Oh, wait, I know why it was doing that. Because it does actually get an individual standard. What I want is get module by ID. Get module by ID. And then get its standards. Cool, and they're back. All right, so I want to see this list of modules up there. getting these standards hard-coded. What's next? If this thing gets passed in standards, it's in good shape. And if we style this so that nav, not UL, standards looks like that. But modules, those LIs should look pretty different. Those should look like display inline block. Those should have a background color of, I don't know yet. Let's say primary color 5 and a color of white. How to do colors? Primary. Cool. Should still, oh, I think I need to do it on the anchor itself. Stupid. Yep, don't like that at all. All right. And padding for this, let's start with baseline. Cool. And instead of that, how about I lighten it up? Okay, better. Better. Nope, way worse. But if I do that, this is I haven't tried this yet, but I've heard, I don't think this is the right move, but if I do a light one with that and a really dark one with this, you actually get pretty good contrast. I don't like how it looks. Whatever. Text decoration, none. Yeah, the contrast on that is actually really fucking good, but I don't like anything else about it. So let's go with, fuck, what else could it be? Let's try gray. All right, that'll work for now. And then make that gray 3. All right, this is, man. There's something I just don't like about this. What if I set the width? That's better. Oh, this is kind of interesting. Instead of display inline block, I'll bet I could display inline flex and do a justify content center and then align items center. Hey, that's kind of more what I had in mind. Also, this H1 needs a pretty big margin under it. Better. And the entire modules thing also slightly less. Those 2x's. Let's try 1x. Better. That color's still gonna drive me crazy. What about if I did that as the background, all right, I hate that substantially less. I'll work with that for right now. Oh, and this is a cool trick. So when you have like a box like this, You'll notice I can't actually navigate in here, but I can there. It's because the A isn't taking up the entire thing. And so you can make the width and height of the inner thing take up all of it. Shit. Oh, it's because this has, you move the padding from there to there. All right, now it'll do it over the entire box, but I did fuck up. I don't think I need that padding at all. Apparently I did. Okay, that's the thing. Oh, I see why. Just get rid of those. There we go. Oh, but it's still doing it now. Fuck. What if I... Okay, that needs to be that. But the challenge... Maybe I can... Maybe I can do all that flex shit in here. I don't know if you can flex text. Maybe. Oh, you totally can. All right. Learn something new. Cool. All right, and now you can click anywhere in that box. That's the big trick there. And I'm really happy with that. So this is using my color scale. Use a darker color and a lighter color. It works so much better than like white would or black in that scenario. Because if I make that color, if I comment that out and make the color, check this shit out. If I make it white instead, there's a 0% chance that passes accessibility because the contrast just isn't enough. But if you go the other direction, oh baby, 1995 called, wants its fucking shitty styles back, but you just make it a darker version of that color, you hit the contrast, that worked a lot better than I thought it would. Cool. So I've got a list of all of our modules showing up. How's about we hop over here to seeds and make another module. So I'll call this one mod 2. You'll do lots of other stuff. And then this needs some standards also. I'm not going to worry about descriptions of these for right now. But I do want to get the actual standards right, especially for the new one. All right, so we have build websites with HTML and CSS. Cool. Next one is, God, this new mod 2 is so much better. Retrieve data using fetch. Missed a C. Submit data using forms. Come on now. Oh, I see why. Ooh. Good, and that one's number 7. All right, sick. So now I have all of these standards. So I'm going to run this again, and part of the problem with what I'm about to do is I'll need to update that fucking ID again. But we should be over that by the end of this. What? Missed a closing something. Cool. Whoop. Description number 86. Helps to finish the job. All right, cool. So now everything's gonna need to get updated to 4 or it explodes. But almost done with that. There we go. So I should hopefully see. Well, I should have all of the modules now, though. Let's see, over here, I did fetch modules. When I fetch modules, I get them back, I set them, and that couldn't be any easier. Are they all in Vuex? Modules. No, only one of them is loaded up. Well, that doesn't help. So is fetch module still happening somewhere? Am I getting here? How about that? And I can also check it's an array of 1. I wonder what my route on the back end looks like. Get modules. Weird. What's coming back from the APIs? There's one. Nope, it's just the one. That's actually a really good sign. Means I haven't lost my mind. All right, so let's take a look at what this is doing. Getting every module, mapping over each of them, setting their standards. Okay. So now I kind of wonder what mods looks like. If I postman, what happens on the terminal? Ooh, only one comes back from the database. That's also a good sign. Not really, but. Okay. All right, so that inserts into module. It comes back. and then inserts all these standards. Did I just like not run the thing? I thought I did. Okay, well now it's 5. It's still not there though. Fucking weird. All right, at this point, I'm going to drop into the actual database itself and select all from module. 1 row. That's not what I want at all. Oh, I found it. Is it returned? There we go. Yeah, don't do that. All right, there we go. And now, if I run that, we're on 6, and there are 2 of them. Sweet. And if I refresh over here, I got 2 mods. Sick shit. Get rid of that. And where's my other console log? Get rid of that. Okay, that's good. That's, I want to get 6 now. All right. And then over in this app header, I gave these some breathing room. If I said that the margin should be an XL, what's that do? Too much. The margin should be a small. I'm actually going to make a different rule for this. Say an LI that immediately follows an LI should have a margin of small. There we go. That's like the one good use for the plus operator in CSS is 2 list items that are next to each other. Okay, not bad. I do want to make it so that all right, I have those showing up there. Actually, you know what this is? This is actually nested differently than I was doing it before. It's not that at all. What it actually is, this is nested slightly differently. Any day now. I really don't like this tablet timeout that it's given me. Driving me crazy. Come on, man. Right when I need you. Because I think what's actually happening is that modules owns, like that has children and an index. Yeah, dude. That's what's up. That controller fruit. There it is. Okay, I think it's probably more like There's the app. There's modules, and modules always has those boxes showing. And then modules has like standards. Modules has an index that's like pick a module, and then it has standards, and then a list of these things over here, and then Eureka. I think that's it. I think it's just a view that's nested twice. Dope. All right, I think we cracked the puzzle. Cool. Well, it's 5 o'clock, so I am going to tap out on this for today and pick it up again tomorrow. But before I go, let's clean that up. Let's clean that up so we start fresh and tidy tomorrow. And then let's give it a commit also. All those are fine. Get commit. Feature to work in progress. Cool. And that's all she wrote. Back tomorrow.